Okay. All right. Good morning. Let's do Tanya. For Thursday. Close the door, guys. All right. Today, Tanya, Thursday, the 7th of Elul, we are going to finish the famous letter 11 of Igeres HaKodesh about how one of the letters where the Alter Rebbe addresses living with faith even when there is apparent suffering in one's life. He said yesterday, it was a pretty short letter, but every word is very referential, that if you believe in the doctrine of continuous creation, that our whole existence is coming, yesh, our existence, yesh in Hebrew is existence, comes from ayin. Ayin is, um, ayin means, what do you call it? Nothingness. So our existence is from a nothingness, but not as in nothingness as in Hashem doesn't exist. To squirrel the cow. You can't deal with the nonsense. Switch with me. So, if you believe everything comes from ayin, which means it comes from something incomprehensible to us, God, who's an incomprehensible existence, which is our source, then that lends to mean that everything that exists is then going to be that lens that everything is going to be created. So if everything comes from Hashem, as incomprehensible as that is, then it has to be good because it's intentional existence. And Hashem would only want, he's obviously creating for a reason, and it's a very kind reason. The fact that it appears bad is because we can't understand it. But that's okay because our source is not understandable entirely. Okay, page 82. Therefore, first of all, man ought to be happy and joyous every time and hour, and truly live by his faith in God, who animates him and acts kindly towards him in every moment. That was our logic. That was our takeaway from yesterday. If God is creating you right now with everything that you're experiencing, it must be good. But someone who grieves and laments demonstrates that he's demonstrating that it seems it's hardship and suffering, and meaning that you're saying that God is lacking in your goodness. Then in a way, God forbid you're like a heretic, because it's saying I believe in God when it's good, but when it doesn't appear good, then I don't believe in God. But the definition of God is a transcendent, incomprehensible being that is a source. So why do you expect to understand everything? This is why the sages of truth, the Kabbalists, we find in Kabbalah, they reject the trait of sadness because it contradicts a Jew's true faith that there's no place devoid of him. Ein oid malvado. And this is the truly faithful, however. I'm going to say the Hebrew and translate it because there's two ways of translating it. Lo yachush mishum yisur ba'olam. The faithful are not perturbed by any suffering whatsoever. So when they first translate that word, they wrote it to the Rebbe in Yiddish, the equivalent of the faithful doesn't care about the suffering. Yalchush is a very generic word. It can mean feel, it can mean experience, it can mean care. So they said, I mean, the translator is the faithful doesn't care about the suffering because they know it's from God, so they don't. So the Rebbe changed that translation, saying that I forget the exact Yiddish was it doesn't worry the person. Obviously, you care, but it doesn't worry you because you don't have this, cosmic imbalance that, oh my gosh, what's going to be? It's, God's not going to come through. God is coming through. It just, you're not worried that you don't understand it at the moment. And the faithful, with respect to all mundane matters, Hein velav shavenetzle, bashva mitis. Whether God answers your prayers yes, whether He answers your prayers no, the believer, the faithful, it's all the same with true equanimity. But somebody who the good and the yes to your prayers, the no to your prayers is not the same. You're happy when there's a yes, and you fret and you're worried when there's a no. You demonstrate that you're one of the Erev Rav, the which is an umbrella term for the people who left Egypt, who were kind of the Johnny come lately converts. And they became Jewish, but they were, kind of had more baggage to deal with because they were more pagan in their orientation. They're more self-oriented, and you're basically showing you come from kind of like a type of soul that's a little too klipa, a little too into yourself, and you're showing that you love yourself to the extent that you remove yourself from under the hand of God and live the life of the Gentiles. Meaning, because of your self-love, right? Self-love is you like it when it feels good. This is why he desires the life of the flesh and children's sustenance, for that is his good. Indeed, it would have been better for him had he not been created. For the main purpose of man's creation in this world meaning the person that relates to God because they love the goodies of the blessings, is it God that you love or do you love yourself? Well, if you're limited to loving God when it feels good, then it's obviously a form of loving yourself. That's not real service of our Creator, of our higher, transcendent, beyond our understanding Creator. And this is what the Mishnah says, that better such a person not been created. Why? Why is it a harsh term? Why? It shouldn't be created because you get upset when you lose money or you have a health problem. Well, that's a bit harsh. It's not saying that you should like the person you should die. It's not saying. It's saying that what's the purpose of your why are you created? What's the reason? There's a purpose of creation. It's to serve God and find and connect God, find the God in every occurrence in life. All types of occurrences, good and bad. In other words, in a way, the main purpose of life is to find God, not only in the good, but even the hard. That's even harder. That's even more finding God. Everybody can serve God when they get $1 billion, they get goodies. But to find God when it's not apparent, that's a real finding of God because it's not contingent on our interface. Uh, in other words, the purpose of creation, he says it flat out, is to test the person by these trials, to ascertain what is in his heart. Whether his heart will turn to other gods. What are the other gods? It doesn't have to be idols. It could be the passions of the body which evolve from the Sitra Achra and the desire these. Or whether his desire and wish to live the true life which evolves from the living God. One must believe that he really lives the true life, and that all his needs and everything related for himself truly evolve in all the details, not from the Sitra Achra, from the concealment forces, your boss, your job, your stock market, whatever, but believe that all comes from one source, God. By God are the steps of man made firm. And while there's yet no word on my tongue, you, God, know it all. Accordingly, everything is absolutely good, except that it is not apprehended as such by man. When one believes this truly, everything. So, bottom line is, the purpose of creation, in a way, is to live life in all situations, all tests. Tests, by the way, could be riches. All tests are in a way are where it's not easy on the face of it to find God, yet you find God through faith in the situation, whether it's poor, rich, easy, hard. And here's the good news, and then you have peace because it's all good. If it's all coming from God, who you don't totally understand, then it's all good. When one believes this truly, everything becomes good, even on a revealed level. This is a beautiful thing. When you stop trying to control the situation and you let go and you let God, then, first of all, you have peace right away. But then there's a beautiful thing is that then the challenge of the test, the purpose of the test, to kind of test your heart, how deep is your service and relationship to Hashem, then test passed. And then the good can be apparent even on a revealed, easier level. For by such a faith in which one believes that what manifests seems to be evil, in fact, is coming from its vitality. Even if it looks bad, it's coming from good, it's coming from God, and it only can exist from the good God, which we said before is God's chachma. God's good is not understandable always. It's whether you understand your mortal mind or not, it's good. And this is what we call chachma. This is what we call the Eden, that the Garden of Eden comes from, the source. It transcends the world to come. By this faith, the imagined evil is truly absorbed and sublimated in the concealed supreme good, so the good becomes palpably revealed to the physical eye, which is a fascinating idea that it doesn't say, do this and yet you promise you'll have all your problems solved. It says, do this because it's true. In our life, our goal is to live a life of truth, specifically when it's hard. And the truth is that everything comes from a good God. At the same time, but once you pass the test, the goal is not for you to suffer indefinitely. The goal is to find God. And once you found God, truly, even in the hard thing, then there's no reason to have the test. It falls away. Beautiful, important